iHeartRadio, Spotify, whatever. They're all under there, under the Big Joel Show. We're also streaming live right now on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. So, Shant, lots of people are watching. You're not seeing them on the Zoom, but they're all watching on social. As you all know, I usually do not look at the chat. But if you have your camera on, to get you to turn your camera on, if we have time at the end, we can always take a question. And I always appreciate the people that have their cameras on. So it's April 1st, and I'm not going to do anything foolish right now. In fact, I'm doing something anti-foolish by having Shant on, which is awesome. And we're in the, I don't know, I guess we're in the spring market. I always used to say, as soon as you see the Easter Bunny, it's spring market. But I think the market's been all kinds of all over the place for a while now. So I don't even know if we really have a spring market or not. I think based on the loan officers I work with one-on-one and the people in groups, people had heavy unit closing months last month. They have heavy Aprils and are already loading into May as well. I know the credit pulls are what I call lead with the credit pulls. So a pre-qual are definitely way up. And I think the market is, I'm going to call it, used to the rates, enough of the prognosticating what the rates are going to do. Who cares? We all know it's still better to buy a house today at 7% than it is to wait and buy a house 80 grand higher at 5 7/8 or 6%. I think that math is very, very easy. So today I got a special guest on. I have Shant Banosian. I think probably most of you all know who he is. If you don't, he has the dubious honor of being the #1 loan officer in America, maybe in the world, because they probably don't rank anyplace else. But the other thing about Shant is a great guy, and he loves to share. And he is, I'm just going to put it out there, Shant, because people are used to this on my call. He's not a dick. Shant is a nice guy. So I love having him on here because he loves to share. And at the end, I'll tell you again, too, he's trying to get his Instagram followers up. So if you like what you hear and you're not following him, I recommend you follow him. He's got great videos. If anything, just to see his daughters play hockey, it's totally worth it. Besides the other content that he's putting out, he stepped up his video game. So Shant, we got a group here that is on pretty loyally. I started doing these in March of 2020, so 4 years later.
Yeah, I've been on, I think, twice before, right?
Yes, you have. For a while now, and I love how everybody tunes in. Sometimes just to get pumped up. Maybe I just yell at them for a half hour and we're done. And they hear a lot of common themes. And Shant, I'd love to I want to ask you a question to start, and then you could take it any way you want. I'm good, but I've been talking about, and I'm just going to start right here, docking files and taking complete loans up front for a long time. That's been my thing forever. I know you've heard me wax on about BICs and PPs and all that crap, but I've been telling people for the last, call it, year, as companies have riffed and really gotten rid of a lot of ops people, that it's going to be even more important when the market ramps back up that your files are dialed. And Shant, one of the things, I've told these guys many times, I've used your name. I'll never forget when you were like, Joel, I'm writing everything for 10-day closes. I don't care. I'm going to beat everybody back. My files are going to be ready, and I'm going to jam them through, and I'm going to close them on time. And I'm now hearing, Shant, every day as I'm talking to top producing loan officers, they're starting to kind of wiggle and wobble a little bit on the rails, and I'm hearing like some ops complaints, and I'm asking them right away, well, do you have any conditions on your loan? I mean, what are you complaining about? Oh, the processor didn't look at the docs before she submitted them. I'm like, excuse me? Somebody else should have looked at that, not the processor. You shouldn't be chasing a large deposit, at the end, and now you're mad it's not closing because there's not enough underwriters or there's not enough closers. And I'd love to get your take on that because it's such a hot topic right now as everybody ramps back up. Again, Shant Banosian, Boston Metro, but licensed in all 50 states, but bread and butter in Boston Metro. Shant, what's your official title, guaranteed rate? What is it now? Is it, who cares?
I always joke and say loan officer, senior loan officer. No,
there you go.
Yeah, I mean, official title, executive vice president sales.
There you go. Okay, but really,
nice and fancy.
A down and dirty loan officer, just like the rest of us on this call, which is awesome.
Yeah.
Shant, what do you think about that?
Look, we're totally in alignment there. It's I've always been an execution person, right? And like, I don't want to put in any files. I don't want to have my team working on stuff that's not like completely buttoned up. And I also believe that like, your clients kind of like I built a reputation and a brand of execution. And so like when I say something to a client that it's going to go like a deal is going to go through, and all the realtors I work with know that like if we say we're going to do it, it's going to happen. Uh, we really believe in net promoter score, which is like our client. We survey our clients and realtors after every single transaction and ask them what they think about us. And like, you're not going to get the desired result, the desired brand, if you're putting in sloppy business. I can't tell you. I pick off 2 to 3 deals, a week that somebody else hadn't processed that like it's fallen off the rails. The clients have lost confidence. They don't know what's going on from a communication standpoint. And all of it has to do with just sloppy business up front. I have my files pretty buttoned up, by the time I get on the phone with the client for the first time, because of my expectations around like them completing our application, buttoning up their documents, and getting everything to us. But it's really, really, really buttoned up by the time that file goes in for like once it's an offer accepted. We try to do as much of our work up front prior to them even having an offer accepted of just we believe in them going through underwriting before they even make an offer. So like bottom line is like since I've been very, very much like even since as long as I've known you, like very much into like just having files completely buttoned up. Here's why. All the big mistakes come from, in our world, whether you're a broker or a lender or whatever, like so many mistakes happen because you just chased price, tried to lock a loan with the investor with the best price, and then all of a sudden you find out that like you can't do that loan. Now you're backtracking, whether it's underwriting, pricing, and like your word in this business is so important. And it's so easy to like, I mean, it's like what we do is fortunately not rocket science. Like you're asking the same questions on almost every single file or some variation of it around credit, income, and assets, right? Like the only reason you don't ask for this stuff is if you're cutting corners and you're lazy and you're just working too fast, right? Like asking the buttoning up a file takes like probably like an extra 3 to 5 minutes of questions. And it also requires you to confidently run the conversation with your clients in terms of what you need, when you need it, and why you need it. It's not, and it saves you that extra 3 to 5 minutes on an upfront call, that extra direction with the client saves you so much time on the back end, and it enhances your brand massively. And it enhances the confidence that your clients have in you, your referability in the future, everything. Like the faster you can close a deal, there's never been an unhappy client of something that flies through the system and they're just waiting around for a loan to close. And then all of a sudden you become that person that like everybody, especially in a market where things are hard, right? You want to be the person that everybody thinks of as like, I send it to him, like I got nothing to worry about, right? Or her, right? For that matter. And so I've always believed in quality. My whole team believes in quality. My operations team loves the fact that we believe in that. And we do, we do a big share of different kind of business. Like we do everything from first time home buyer. We do a big share of jumbo, state housing stuff, FHA, VA. So like you have to button up every single file. We're taking on all the non-QM stuff as well. So like it's it's like and bottom line, that's like what clients, like everybody, the clients and realtors, they expect it. Like we're professionals, right? Like so like if we can't button up income, credit, and assets and figure out the right investor and guidelines, like what are we even talking about?
Shant, I want to hop on a couple of things Shant said. I want to make sure everybody heard this loud and clear. Loan officers do not understand this, Shant. I cannot tell you how many loan officers I literally have to almost grab their shoulders and shake them. Shant said, he said it very quickly, it saves time. You all think, oh, I'm not going to get that. My LOA is going to get it. I don't want to spend 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 6 minutes. There's people on this call that do everything themselves. There's people on this call with big teams. There's all kinds of different people on this call. I'm just looking at the screens. I know the volume of a lot of you guys. But the reality of it is in the 1 minute it took you, don't laugh, to get kids' ages or to ask about a large deposit, that's going to take your people on the back like an hour and a half. So if you're worried, hey, your people, they're too busy, they're not getting stuff done, it's usually your fault the way you teed the loan up. Number two, he said this is huge. It takes years for loan officers to understand this. Your goal as a loan officer is the ops people want to ask for your files. That's what you want to hear. Hey, give me the Shant files. I want the Banosian files. Give me those files. Let me tell you all something. Those of you that haven't been around for a long time, when it's time for an underwriter to go to lunch and they look down and they're going to do one more, and your file is a dumpster fire, they go to lunch. Okay, when they're looking down at your file and it's a Shant file, I'll just take care of that one quick before I go to lunch. That one's not going to slow me down. So, Shant said the ops people love the quality. Huge. Number 3, I've been yelling about this: professionalism. Agents tell me every week, I am in a market someplace every week with agents, literally with 5 agents or with 100 agents, somewhere every week. I'm going to be with agents tomorrow in Houston, Texas. They've been telling me for the past 9 months, I'm done with my loan officer whose kids go to the same school as mine. I'm done with my loan officer who goes to the same country club. I don't care. I'm only working with pro loan officers that get stuff done, make my clients feel good, and help me get more referrals. Period, Shant. I've never heard that so much in my whole career. Loan officers, agents actually verbalizing that to me and actually saying that. So I just want to hop on, because Shant just said a lot and it was great, but I want to hop on those 3 things that just boom, boom. If you think you're saving time because you got some cool system where you dump the people in your online app, wait for them to fill out a quarter of it, and then shove the file through without talking to them or without anybody looking at docs, you are sorely mistaken. And if you're not feeling it yet in your company, you're going to feel it a lot more, because let me tell you something. Shant can laugh at this. Laz, I'm just looking at people that are more executives at their companies. Nobody's going to be bulking up on ops people anytime soon. We're going to have to do a lot of volume before they really start rehiring. So the staffs you have are probably the staffs you're going to have right now. Shant, thank you. What about, Shant, just mental in the market? You know what I'm loving? I'm digging this. I'm loving seeing you out in the market all the time, not just Johnny, who of course I like seeing, but I'm loving seeing you out there all the time. Yeah. Tell me how the agent's feeling. Those of you that don't know, Boston is brutal. It's very expensive and there's very low inventory. Okay. So wherever you think you are, I guarantee you, not as bad as Boston, or it might be the same, but it's not worse. Okay. I can tell you that factually. I travel all over the country. Shant, mental with the agents on the street. Tell me what they're saying. What are you saying to them to keep them pumped up? We don't have to get into NAR. We can leave that alone, but give us a little feel there.
Yeah. To your point, right? Like, Boston officially became the hottest real estate market in the country, according to Altos Research a couple weeks ago. Inventory is way down. Bidding wars are through the roof. It's very small, right? So like everybody's fighting over the same properties, and most of our clients, 2-income households, do pretty well. So very competitive, right? Like if you're not competing against a cash buyer, you're competing against a cash buyer and somebody that's waiving all their contingencies. And a lot of times there's 20 of those people. So like, what are agents saying? I think that, they're trying to figure out a way to navigate this market like they do every single year. So like, here's the deal. Like, Joel, you've been doing this a long time. I've been doing this pretty long time now, right? Like, I don't feel like a newbie anymore. So the market's going to shift every single year, and you just have to shift with it, right? So like the reason I decided to kind of go back out to the market, frankly, in 2020 and 2021, I was just a transaction machine, right? Like I couldn't even leave the office because we were just like doing loans every single hour on the hour. We were locking a loan 7 days a week, right? But in 2022, I could tell things really shifted. And really since then, for the last 2 years, I've been out with my agents, my partners, every single day, trying to coach them through like what we're seeing and how I can be a member of their team. Like, I'm not just like a vendor. Like, I want to be a partner, coach, mentor, right? For these guys, and like help them do more business, whether it's on the list side, the buy side, help provide them information, help provide them ways in which we can win together. Right. So like, the ones that are like doing great are like just business as usual. Like the most successful people, whether it's in mortgage or real estate, just have blinders on and just keep doing all the stuff they're supposed to be doing. I always talk about getting back to basics. I never got away from the basics. Like I'm doing all the same stuff I did, 10, 5 years ago. I've enhanced efficiencies and the way to do them, but like, the basics works, like the hard work, the hustle, the advertising, the marketing, the branding, fine tuning your process. Like those ones are like, they're plenty busy. Obviously there's challenges in it. The ones that are, the one thing I would say to all loan officers, I was thinking about this as you were talking about what you were talking about earlier, for real estate agents and mortgage people alike, right? I think there was like some stat that like 50% of the loan officers got out of the business, right? In the last year, like 100,000 licenses fell off since like the peak of 2022. And some people are like, oh, that's great. Like I look at it as, okay, that's good. Cause like, it gives me an opportunity to grab market share, but I also look at it in a healthy way. Like, all right, well, the good ones are the ones that are left. So like, I got to be on top of my game every single time I go to a market update, I go to a one-on-one and I take on a loan, because like the people that I'm competing with are the best of the best that's left. Right. So like, you got to step up. I'm not going to come up against, hopefully, somebody that doesn't ask for the information or just relies on an online app, even though I do every single day. But that's not the way I go into every single call, because like I feel like I got to give it more now than I did a couple of years ago, because like everybody's fighting tooth and nail for every single for every single deal, and generally speaking, the level of competition is better. So like the best realtors are the ones that are like optimistic, that are hustling, and not afraid. Like they're just looking at it like the market is what it is. We're all playing in a level playing field. So I'm going to stick to my business plan and go out and make it happen. The people
I heard a Shant, a broker owner, was telling me it's been around about 20, actually 30 years. He said to me, it was really funny. He goes, Joel, all these agents are crying and complaining. They're spending all this time crying and complaining. He goes, wait a minute, this is actually their job, because, if you look at it, since 2001 or 2002, the exception of 7, 8, 9, and 23, the rates have been dropping and sale prices have gone up, which means agents have got to raise and loan officers have got to raise pretty much every year with the exception of 4 years. Now it's like he goes like this, it's the 90s. Yeah. Now you got to work. Now you got to pre-qual the same person 5 times. Now as an agent, you might have to take them out and show them 30 houses, 20 houses. You actually have to partner with a loan officer now. The number one thing, Shant, that I'm hearing from brokers is they're concerned that their agents are losing deals because they're not ready to overcome the objections from the consumers. So what they're trying to teach their agents is to get that person to the lender at 100 miles an hour. Now, there's a lot of lenders that have never partnered with an agent in their whole career, and there's agents that have never truly partnered with a lender. So they don't even know. It's like new. It's like watching 2 awkward people dance. So the door is open if you're running a business like that. And by the way, Shant is running his business like that for sure, for what I'm just going to use the word domination, because you can't compete with that relationship there at all, especially if they're working in conjunction. And Shant just said a couple of things. Again, market's going to shift every year. Get over it. Shift and move. He's working to coach them through. He wants to be their partner, their coach, their mentor. That's awesome. Those of you that know me well, that know my coaching systems or my crush group, know that it all came from me actually meeting with my agent partners. And I was actually their business coach. I was actually the one that was, every year in December, you couldn't find me because I was doing business plans for the year with everyone. And I mean, I've been working with agents now for a long time, but that's where that came from. So that really hit home that Shant said that, and everyone should be doing that. And then, Shant, which I hadn't really thought about, to be honest, but I think it's a great point, is, hey, yeah, a lot of people are out, but the good ones are left, which means you have to be better. You literally have to be better. And Shant, I'd love for you to share some things with everyone on how you every day are better, whether it's workout routine, what time you're getting up, mental, grind, great stuff for people to hear. I mean, you don't have to be working as hard as you are, but yet you're working harder to take more market share. And I think it'd be very motivational for people to hear that, if you don't mind sharing.
100%. Yeah, I appreciate it. So here's what I'd say, guys, like what I'm doing, right? And this is just before I get into that, it all kind of ties in together. Everything I do is like intertwined. So like, if you educate, you attract, right? Like if you educate your clients, if you educate your partners, you attract the right kind of partners and you attract the right kind of clients. And I can say confidently that I do. Like I love the realtors I work with. I enjoy talking to them. I enjoy working hard for them. But because they want in me what I'm looking to give. And I don't attract the type of people that are just like looking to like churn and burn and use us for whatever, right? Like I have true partners, which is awesome and fulfilling for me. So I lead with education, and I feel like I attract the right kind of clients and partners. I believe in that. I have fun with that, and I spend a lot of time learning and studying so I can communicate that back and share that with my partners so that they can go out and do more business and be better advisors for their clients. The second part I do is I provide a ton of information. I also believe that if you inform, you motivate. And so like if I inform my clients, and especially my clients, right, I motivate them into action in a time where it's like very difficult because there's low inventory, there's high demand, and they need information in order to be able to act. And a lot of times they have very short windows of time to act and make decisions. And people that aren't prepared and informed, what do? They freeze and they stress out and they get anxious and they pull back, right? And so like I want to increase my conversion of my partners winning, my clients winning, and myself winning, right? And so if I feel like I spend a ton of time getting my clients prepared, confident, ready to act in the market, they're informed, they're motivated to act and make big decisions, and then everybody wins. And then all of a sudden my partners know that that's the kind of advice and nurturing that I'm giving my clients. And of course they want to send us more business because I'm a part of their team trying to help their people get into the market and understand how to navigate this market and why they're making the decisions behind it. In terms of what I'm doing, like, yeah, I'm 100%, I'm working harder, I'm working smarter, I'm working more efficient. This whole shift in the market over the course of the last 2 or 3 years kind of got me reinvigorated in the sense that like it's a new challenge. I also know it's hard for everybody else. So for me, it's like a way to go out and grab more market share at a time where people are reeling. And like to me, that kind of gets me motivated in a weird way. Like I know it's hard for everybody else, so I'm not focused on 100. I'm just going in for the kill, right? And like, and I'm using it as an opportunity to go out and grab more market share, to go out and do more. So like, yeah, man, like I'm at it. Like, I wake up. So I also have a wife and 3 kids that I love very much. So like I balance like them as well as like my responsibilities at work. So like I'm up every single day at 4 o'clock in the morning. No questions asked except Sundays. I do my whole routine, reading, meditating, kind of getting ready for the day. 5 o'clock every single day I'm at the gym from 5 to 6. 6:15 I'm home and usually helping get everybody out of the house, drive my kids to school virtually every single day. And then I get to the office by 8 o'clock. From 8 to 5:30, 6 o'clock, I'm full of appointments, realtor meetings, market updates, you name it. I try to keep like any business stuff to one night a week during the week in terms of where like I have to go out for an event. Yeah, I mean, like my every single minute of every single day, like when I get off this call, I'm booked like every 15 minutes till 5:30, right? I've got 2 events this week, but like I'm all in, like in terms of just all the things I'm doing. And the working out, the eating better, being more healthy, emotionally, spiritually, physically, all that kind of stuff. It allows me to be at a higher energy level. It allows me to serve my clients better, my partners better, my team better. So like I wouldn't be able to go as fast as I'm going and at the pace I'm going at if I wasn't taking care of myself and doing all the stuff. Like, I pretty much don't drink anymore, not because like it makes me tired, right? So like I don't have time for that in a really fast moving market. Like I take my sleep a lot more seriously. I drink a lot more water. I care more about, but just because like I want to be able to go harder and faster at life, right? And I don't have time for things that slow me down. So and I'm taking this opportunity of the last couple of years as like one of those times where like all the people, like if you look at successful business people or successful people non-business, just life, like it always results. The success is usually as a result of some sort of event that happened, some sort of challenging obstacle or whatever that happened, and that's where all the growth happens. And during challenging times, the market we're in, the market we've been in, I truly only believe like 5 or 10% of people show up, right, and make it happen. And unfortunately, like 90% of people don't do anything. They just kind of sit around and watch what everybody else is trying to figure out. So I'm going to make sure I'm one of those 10%. Odds are most of the people on this call are in that 10% too, because you're coaching, you're trying to get better, you're learning. But like I'm all in right now, like, and I'm not slowing down even a little bit.
Sean, I used to say this when I used to do big keynotes, and I stopped because I realized it was pissing people off. My opening, when I would go up and I'd walk up on stage and go, I just want everyone to know how much I love life. And they'd be like, why? And I'd say, because I'm only competing against 5% of you. The
Yeah.
other 95% aren't going to do anything. So
Yeah.
I'm only having to compete against 5% of you. I just want to go through. Shant is dropping bombs there. For those of you not taking notes, you should have this written down. If you educate, you attract. And if you inform, you motivate. If you didn't write that down, you're probably crazy. That's why I wanted to say it again, because it's great stuff to think about all day. Who did you educate today? Who did you inform today? Like, what have you literally done today? When Shant says he's scheduled, I will humbly say, I know. I've sat in front of his desk before and seen how scheduled he is. So he is not BSing. And I am going to have him on this off this call in 2 minutes, because I guarantee he has a call at 2:30, because I told
I
him
gave
30
myself a
minutes.
15-minute buffer, Joel. I know.
You knew better. You knew
yeah.
better. And then one other thing, which I really want to make sure you heard loud and clear. I'm going in for the kill. Did everybody hear that? You guys have been hearing me talk about this. Okay? This is what all the great loan officers in the country are doing. I'm a very blessed guy. I get to work one-on-one with a lot of these people. And I'm telling you, they all have the same attitude. They are going in for the kill. And let me just tell you, good luck if you screw a loan up and they grab it and close it, because they're going to be in front of your partner very, very, very quickly at 100 miles an hour. And you're going to have a problem, because they all have maybe the not exact same determination as Shant, and maybe not clearly as dialed, but they're pretty dialed. And they are going in for the kill. They are looking at this as down markets create billionaires, or down markets.
Here's what I'd say. You know, I look, just like I said, I used it as an opportunity. The other thing I look at as a challenging market, it's like, it makes us, like, the more challenging this market gets, the more impactful we are as real estate professionals, whether it's loan officer or real estate agent. The clients need us more. We went through a period where technology made it sound like you could, figure out how to navigate the mortgage process, navigate the real estate process without needing people. They need people. This industry has been trying to commoditize this for years, right? Like, it's a client calls you, what's my rate? Every single call, what's my rate? But like, the most successful people differentiate themselves, right? And it's how you're going to differentiate yourself every single day. And it's how you show up for your partners. I had an event earlier this year in January, second time we did it. We had 1,000 real estate agents show up to the event, right? Because people are starving for information. They want to know how to navigate the market and how to win. We just put together an event very last minute next week. We sold out the event in one day. We have 250 partners showing up to our event, just to kind of figure out what's going on. And so we're just trying to figure out ways we can constantly outvalue our competition and just show up for our partners, because people really truly do want value. The commoditized thing, it's a race to the bottom, and it doesn't work. If you can stay differentiated, no matter what kind of business you're in, you're always going to be valued by the people that care about that stuff. And ultimately, those are the kind of people that I want to attract. Like, I will win if my clients.
That's the Shant. That's the thing people don't hear. They don't hear that. It's the loan officer says, "Oh, I just started working with this agent partner, but I hate them." I'm like, what are you talking about? That's not the person you want to attract. That's exactly right.
That's why I work so hard, and that's why I can go so hard. If I didn't like them, I wouldn't be able to work that hard. I literally, truly, I enjoy the people I work with and work on behalf of, and I enjoy helping them win.
Let me, I want to just repeat one other thing he just said really fast that I wrote down, which I loved, which I'm definitely going to swipe and adapt. Of course, I'll credit him for it. Outvalue the competition, which is a great way to say it. I'm going to outvalue the competition. I mean, that can be translated into I'm going to beat you into the ground and step over your body. But the reality of it is I'm going to outvalue the competition. Has nothing to do with rates, has nothing to do with programs, has nothing to do with even where you work. It has to do with the value that you're providing to your partners, and you can provide that no matter where you work. That value can be defined as making clients feel good, getting their loans closed seamlessly and quickly, helping your agent partners get more referrals. That could be educating. I mean, you could go on. Shant could go on for 10 minutes on that probably. But I'm looking at the clock, 2:32. I know you gave me a buffer, Shant, but I want to try to be good. Before I let Shant have closing words, Shant, is it Shant at, what is your Instagram handle?
At Shant Banosian. So SHANT BANOSIAN. That's my Instagram handle. I also post a lot of stuff on LinkedIn, so you guys can hit me up there.
Yeah, yeah, LinkedIn or Instagram. I know he was running a little competition to get over 10,000. I know he got over 10,000, but let's get him up to 20,000 because he puts good stuff on there. Shant, any closing words? By the way, I just want to thank you. I know you're going to run off, but I want to sincerely thank you for coming on.
Yeah, no, I appreciate you guys jumping on. There's over 50 people on here. I would say this. One, I am licensed in all 50 states. So if you're not and you need somebody to refer a deal to, I'm your guy. It doesn't matter what company you work at. So if you ever need a good referral, send it my way. Two, so look, close it up with this. If you get back to basics, right? If you think about what your basics are and stick to them, like get off this call and figure out here are 4 or 5 exact things that I need to do to win, whether it's calls, texts, emails, meetings, partner events, operational efficiency, whatever your basics are, figure them out, figure out what you've gotten away from. Because if you're on this call, that means you've built a successful business. But my guess is that at some point you got away from all the things that help you build that business. Go back to those things and pretend like you're starting from scratch every single day. 2, focus on what you can control. We spend so much time focusing on inventory, interest rates, the economy, the Fed, all these things that we literally can't do anything about. Focus on the things you can control, which is your activities and actions, right? If you focus on those things constantly and never derail, you'll be fine. Outvalue your competition, like I said. And then you got to get your mind right? Your mindset and your perspective should be the most important thing you work on every single day. And feeding your mind with positive content, calls like this, books, webinars, mentors, coaching, like you should be all in on that. Even though your money might be down a little bit right now, invest in yourself more than ever, and the payoff will be huge. Because the people with the best mindset are the people that are going to win, and people are looking to work with like that attraction piece. I talked about education attracting positivity and optimism also attracts, right? And there's a lot of people that are trying to figure out this business, both on our partner side and internally. And like, you don't want to be the person that's caught up in the BS conversation. Every conversation is about how hard it is, how challenging it is, how this sucks and that sucks. Be the person that's like the hope dealer, the person that's helping them figure out ways to win in this marketplace and win in life. And you'll attract the right kind of people.
Thank you very much, everyone. Let's kick some ass this week. Bring it. Thank you, Shant. See you, man. Appreciate it.